What a day of Champions League football we have just had. And the matchups and the storylines of today were just truly incredible. Obviously, Man City, Madrid, we've been complaining for weeks. We get the same matchup every year, but today was a little bit different. Today gave us something a little bit more interesting to talk about that I didn't really expect. I expected it to be the same storylines, the same, but today was very, very different and very, very interesting. PSG, Chelsea, rematch of the Club World Cup final. Are PSG going to get their revenge against Chelsea? Or Chelsea going to double down and beat PSG again? Who knows what's going to happen? Arsenal going away to Leverkusen, who are very much, maybe one of the informed teams in the Bundesliga. Very, very, very good team. Currently in the last couple of months, picking back up on form. What's going to happen there? Arsenal at the top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League. It's going to be a difficult game for Leverkusen. How do they respond? Borussia Glimt, Sporting, two teams that we didn't really think about at all at the start of the campaign. Now looking at Borussia Glimt as kind of the Cinderella story. Can they make it to the quarterfinals, the semifinals? How far can they really go? But we're going to start in one place, and we have to start. Where else can we start? Manchester City and Real Madrid. Real Madrid 3, Man City 0. Now, before this game started, it was going to be an interesting matchup, right? No Mbappe, obviously. No Jude. Some key players missing on both sides. We didn't see Foden in the starting lineup. We didn't see Trick in the starting lineup. And it's such an interesting lineup from Guardiola. He does this in the Champions League so often. Just goes against the grain. Goes against what he's been doing for months. And I just cannot understand why this guy does this. You just brought Doku and Savinho back from injury. And then you just throw them into starting lineup. You have literally no creativity in your midfield. Bernardo Silva and Rodri, yes, they're good, connectors, but they're not going to play that final ball. They're not going to get Haaland the ball. Doku in the first half, it was a little bit more effective. Savinho didn't really do anything. Semenyo in that kind of 10 role, that's not his position. He doesn't excel in that position. So I don't understand the way Man City set up at all. And then you look at Nico O'Reilly, who's been very, very much informed the last 2 months in that midfield position. You put him back at left back, where he hasn't played much of in the last couple of months. Then you take out Mateus Nunes, who's actually started to play very well at the right back position. You take him out, you bring in Kusanov, who wasn't that bad. But still, you have something that's been working for you for months now, and you go away from it. Why? I have no idea. And you see for that first goal, the way Valverde just cooks Nico O'Reilly, I think that's just a case of I haven't played left back for months. I don't kind of remember how I play this position, and I'm kind of out of position right now. It was just too easy for Valverde. But that touch, the first touch off of Courtois' pass, and then the second touch to take it away from Donnarumma, and the finish was exceptional. But he wasn't done there. For Valverde to get that second goal, look, Vini, great pass. Obviously, a little bit of a deflection. The way Real Madrid played today shocked me. It shocked me. After I've seen what they did against the likes of Getafe, likes of Osasuna in the La Liga in the last couple of weeks, I did not expect them to play with such confidence and such assurance in their play. But they were so confident. They were so dominant in that first half. Messi had the ball at times, yes, but it wasn't useful possession. It was just meaningless possession, side to side. Doku 1v3, 1v2. It wasn't anything, right? That second goal from Valverde is a brilliant goal. The first touch to get the ball away to his left, second touch to smack it hard on the ground. Donnarumma is one of those keepers you can only really beat him on the ground, right? If you shoot the ball, chest level or top corner, he's too long. He's too just big. He's gonna save those shots. When you go low against him and you make him dive down, that's where he can struggle, and that's exactly what Valverde did for that second goal. But the pick of the bunch has to be that third goal. The way Brahim Diaz plays that ball behind Ruben Diaz, where he can't adjust, he can't contort his body to get him clear the ball out. The touch away from Marguerite, and then the finish into the corner. Valverde is one of those players that he scores great goals. Every time he scores a goal, it's a very, very good goal. Obviously, the goal at the weekend, deflected goal, wasn't that great. But this goal, these 3 goals today are what Valverde does. He scores great goals. And that third finish is one of the goals of the Champions League season. I would argue, I would struggle to find 5 goals better than that goal over the course of the Champions League this season. The magnitude of the match and the way he scored, and the team he scored the goal against, is absolutely brilliant. And I think that first half kind of just ended the game. Not ended the tie, but the game. You didn't see anything from Haaland. I don't want to hear this, he's carrying an injury. If you're not fit, don't play. Don't play. Because the fans are not watching you play 70, 75 minutes, 80 minutes for you to be unfit and absolutely do nothing the entire game. You didn't occupy the defenders. You didn't make runs to the back post. You didn't. When you had chances to take shots, you didn't take shots. You didn't do anything. How many times against Madrid, how many times against big teams in the Champions League am I going to see Haaland just evaporate? Evaporate in just big moments, just evaporate. Doesn't play with the same hunger. And usually Haaland starts the season hot, middle of the season goes cold, end of the season gets hot again. It's not happening this season. It is not happening this season from what I'm seeing right now. Maybe it's his fitness, maybe it's his, but it's just not happening. Your team needs you and you are not showing up, and it's been happening for months now, not just weeks, months. Marmoush picking up some of the slack. Semenyo obviously picking up some of the slack. But Haaland, you're supposed to be the franchise player. You're supposed to be the guy, the Man City guy. And you've been anonymous for a while now. And there's no way Man City get back into this second leg without Haaland showing up. There's just no way. And the way he's playing, I just don't see it happening. But Man City, they have no punch. They play with no punch. Like when Haaland is struggling to get goals, they have no punch. They have no... Look at Madrid today. Who on Man City can do what Valverde just did? Who can just pick up the baton and say, okay, our main two guys are not scoring. I'll be the third guy and I'll just go take over the game. Who can do that? Because if Haaland's not scoring, if maybe Semenyo or Foden, whoever's the second guy, who's the third guy that can step up and say, you know what, let me pick it up. The Reinders kind of guy, the Turkey kind of guy. Who's going to be that goal-scoring guy for Man City when Haaland or Marmoush or Semenyo aren't there? The same way Mbappe and Haaland, Mbappe and Vini didn't score today. Mbappe obviously didn't play today. Who's going to be that guy? So this is a terrible performance from Man City. This whole give the ball to Doku gimmick, 1v3, 1v2, you need more than that. You need more than that. Turkey, I think, should have started the game. If you're going to play with those wingers, play with the guy that connects the midfield to the attack. You keep Turkey out of the team, you have no creativity down the middle. It's all just Doku 1v1, 1v1, 1v1 all game. Completely ineffective, in my opinion. But that's Man City, Real Madrid. PSG, Chelsea was the other game I was watching simultaneously with this game. And I was very, very eager to see how PSG will respond to how Chelsea beat the brakes off them in the Club World Cup in the beginning of the season, back in the summer. And wow, PSG responded. But honestly, that's not just the story of the game. Let's start at the beginning. Yes, great goals from Barcola, great head down from Neves. Great response from Chelsea. I was very, very, very surprised at that Malo Gusto's goal goes in. I think that's poor goalkeeper from Safanov. Obviously, PSG, the way PSG took the lead again was just embarrassing. It's almost halftime, and you have that much space to you give that much space to PSG's attackers. Dembele, to be exact. I don't care if he's unfit, if he's carrying an injury. Unfit Dembele is still rapid. The fact that in his own half, he's onside, and all Chelsea defenders are behind him is ridiculous. He has his option to pass, I think, is either Doué or Barcola on his left side, takes it by himself. And then Chelsea respond, obviously, Pedro Neto, the guy I've been harsh on for months, for years. Where is your final ball? Where is your end product? Are you going to make the right pass? Take the right shot? He actually made the right decision. Cuts it back beautifully for Enzo Fernandez. I couldn't believe the IQ of that pass. But great goal for Chelsea. And it's 2-2. At 2-2, you can live with that. You can go back to Stamford Bridge, you can play your game, and you can score against PSG. They're not a great defensive team. You can score against them. You can have chances against them. You can ride your luck and eventually beat them in the second leg. But what do Chelsea do? They shoot themselves in the foot, and in the space of 20 minutes or so, they lose the tie. I think they just lost the tie in the last 20 minutes. Because the third goal, what the hell is Safanov doing? Just clear the ball. You're not losing the game. You're not chasing the game. It's the first leg with 20 or so minutes left. Just clear the ball up the field and see what your players can do from that point. Trying to be cute with it. Gets intercepted. Kvaratskhelia, great pass to Vitinha. Vitinha, great lob over Jorgensen. 3-2. Okay, 3-2 is still manageable. Take the 3-2 and go back to Stamford Bridge and just fight it out, and you can score. You can score against PSG. Trust me, you can score against PSG. What the hell did Chelsea do? Reece James, of all players, loses the ball in Chelsea's half. Kvaratskhelia eventually rocket that. It's an incredible finish. Rockets it into the corner. 4-2. Okay, still 4-2. There's still a slight chance, but you can somehow go to Stamford Bridge and win by 2 goals. It's still possible. And what do Chelsea do? Why are you so open at 4-2 in the first leg? Why are you so open? If you can score in this game to make it 3-4, you can just definitely score in the second leg in the first half, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine with that situation. It's like a 4-on-2 or 4-on-3 at the 94th or so minute, and they're just running down on you. I think it's Hakimi running down, cuts it back, and boom, Kvaratskhelia makes it 5-2, and that's the tie. That is effectively the tie. It is over for me. There's no way I can see Chelsea winning by 3 goals. They can score 3 goals at home, obviously, yes. Like I said, PSG aren't great defensively, but I think PSG are going to let you score 3 goals and they won't score as well. That's not happening. So that 2-2 scenario, maybe even that 3-2 scenario was fine for Chelsea. They were fine in that position, and they just had to not shoot themselves in the foot and throw away the tie, and they did that. This Chelsea team is so inexperienced. They lack discipline. Even look at Neto trying to fight the ball boy at the end of the game. That's just who they are. They lack experience. They lack discipline. And look, all the key positions they need next season, maybe the striker, maybe the left winger, maybe, what will they go do? Probably go sign some young 20-year-old, 21-year-old, up-and-coming center back, up-and-coming. You need experience in this football business. You need guys that know how to win games, know how to win trophies. Chelsea don't have that. They don't have, even Reece James, who I've been applauding all season, for him to make that kind of error, it just shows, it's just seeping into him too. Like, that's just such a terrible way to lose a game, and I think effectively lose a tie. So that was poor. Another English team that really just performed poorly today, but got away with it, was Arsenal. In the early game, Arsenal. Leverkusen obviously scoring the goal from Hattrick with the same set piece gimmick that Arsenal used on everybody else. Leverkusen did it to them. And for the most part, in that game, Leverkusen outplayed Arsenal. They controlled the game. Alex Garcia, who I'm a very, very big fan of. I love the way he plays football. I watched him in Girona years ago when they were coming up, making the Champions League all those seasons ago. And then especially, last couple seasons, playing a little bit of a backseat to the likes of Xhaka, to the likes of Hattrick in the midfield, Palacios. Then you finally see him get his role in that Leverkusen midfield, and you can see just the kind of player he is. Controls the game, pings passes around, and that's what they were doing. Him, Tapsoba, Kwanzaa, Palacios, they were just controlling the game. Also, they had a lot of possession, a lot of passes between Rice and Zubimendi and Gabriel Saliba, but it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't doing anything. Saka, anonymous. Martinelli, anonymous. Eze, anonymous. Gyökeres, anonymous. Another front four, poor performance from the front four of Arsenal. The attackers disappointed yet again. And it's to the point now, I don't even know what to expect from these attackers from Arsenal anymore. I just don't know what to expect from them. They just look poor generally too often. But you know what? They eventually get out of jail. At the end of the game, I remember I was literally about to turn the game off and go focus on other things, and I look back at the game, and I see a penalty is awarded to Arsenal. Oh my God. Malik Tillman. Mind you, Malik Tillman, that's one of the dumbest tackles I've ever seen in the Champions League. So dumb. You actually are in a decent position. You have another covering defender next to you or in front of you, challenging the ball, and you just dive in. You slide in, penalty, Kai Havertz steps up. Of all the players to do this to Leverkusen, it just had to be Kai Havertz. Your golden boy. The guy of all these years ago that you sold for all this money and you still love him and all this, for him to come and do that to you. And honestly, it almost gets saved by Blaswich, a decent attempt at the save. But wow. You had a perfect opportunity to go to the Emirates at 1-0, soak up pressure on the counter-attack, launch Kofane, launch Poku, just go for it. And that's what you did. You just shot yourself in the foot. And now, after these last 2 days, Liverpool, despite losing to Galatasaray, Arsenal, are really the only two English teams that you look at and you say they can still make it through. Chelsea, 3-goal deficit, I don't see it. Man City, 3-goal deficit, I don't see it. Newcastle, 1-1, but going to Camp Nou, I don't see it. Spurs, 3-goal deficit, I don't see it. So it's really just Arsenal and Liverpool that are the only two English teams left that you can potentially see. Arsenal more so than Liverpool, but still, you can potentially see them going through to the next stage. But what a performance today by Real Madrid, by PSG, and we can't forget Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt. I actually thought this would be a tricky tie for them because of, Sporting or a tricky team. They can cause trouble. They've caused trouble in the past to Man City, in the past to Arsenal. So obviously you expect them to at least give some worries to Bodo Glimt. But the way Bodo Glimt played today, I didn't watch the game at all. This is not an analysis on the game, but to win 3-0, great performance from Bodo Glimt. And you have to say, they put themselves in a great position to progress to the next round. But I think the players today, Kvaratskhelia, Valverde, exceptional performances from those, and Andrick as well in the Leverkusen game was very good defensively, and obviously gets his goal. Those are kind of my three guys. Obviously I didn't watch Bodo Glimt, but I'm sure maybe Fett or Blomberg had exceptional games, but I didn't watch the game, so I can't really speak on them. But those performances by PSG and by Real Madrid today, shocking. Real Madrid literally had the likes of Petarch and was it Jimenez, whoever the kid that comes on is just anybody just playing. No Mbappe, no Jude, who else were they missing today? Let me even look at who's missing today. No Rodrigo, obviously, no Carreras. Like 3-4 guys that would definitely be starting this game are missing. And that's the performance they put out today. That's an exceptional performance from Real Madrid. Man City just looked toothless. Chelsea, ill-disciplined, lacking maturity. PSG put them to the sword. So I can't wait to see what happens next week. But the way it's already looking, it's going to be a long second leg for the likes of Man City and Chelsea. And honestly, maybe a little bit more comfortable for Real Madrid and PSG. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. If you watched the Bodo Glimt game, please drop your comments on kind of what you saw in that game. Obviously, the PSG game, PSG-Chelsea game, the Real Madrid-City game, and then the Leverkusen-Arsenal game. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, guys. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace out.